I love that we're going through the time as well. That's so cool. It's a narrative within a narrative within a narrative. All notes you're left by other players. Are we claiming that Coda invented the mechanic in Dark Souls? I'm just joking, of course, but that's kind of a funny thing. Like, it would have been really funny if they lined up the release of Dark Souls with, like, right after that, this showed up in one of his games. That would have been a really kind of a cute statement. Nice room. Not all wrecked. You got so wrecked, Coda. This room's not nice at all. This player saw that. Why can't you?
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person.
Oh my god.
In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually.
This has to be a Dark Souls reference, right? The structure of this, combined with those little dots everywhere, it really feels like that a lot to me. You guys hear me? There is something kind of an interesting point about that the developer is leaving notes to the player as if they're other players, and if they never said that...
Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Are you sure?
Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
Yeah, you know what? I get that. That makes a lot of sense.
Isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
I'd rather be doing literally anything other than playing this. I just had a little breakdown in my mind as I was going through this when he said that you could be learning about this person through their work and you get to do less of the messy socializing. So if you go another level deep or put me on top of the level of this, we're now going, you're watching me watching someone commentating on their own work. It's like, oh my god, my head is gonna explode. You're getting to know me by listening to someone else getting to know someone else about their work. That's so deep. That's actually great, by the way, that the notes turn away from glowing to dull. I just saw a flying penguin. Let me tell you, it was the most majestic thing I've ever seen. I don't feel like living because nothing will ever be as majestic as that. I never want to see again if nothing will ever be that beautiful again. I'm crying now and plan on ripping my eyes out. I must now go do that. I do want to read many of them, but also there's a very daunting number, so... Boring. I love that this is a note from the developer, too, that there's that self-aware that they would anticipate that someone would say something like that. Because it is, I believe, a reasonably naturalistic representation of what would happen. There would be a bunch of notes that are just kind of garbage spam, and then there'd be a couple that are actually cogent or have some relevance to the actual environment, and then there'd be a bunch of people just having their own little meta-crises about what they feel personally. It's just, sometimes it's frustrating if you spend a lot of time working on something that it always gets distilled down to yeah, but I want it to be about me. right? It just keeps coming back to that. Everybody that experiences something has to filter it through their own ego and can't suspend their own reality for a moment just to be in that moment and let things just be. And that's something that I've always kind of found frustrating in my life in general. Maybe it's my own insecurities, right? That I want other people to be able to fixate on a thing I did for a second instead of always making it about themselves. But whenever I would try to pass some sort of level design or art thing to someone, they would always be like, yeah, but I just, you know, I don't really see it. Like, I don't have a way to look at this through the same filter you are. Can assure you, guarantee that there is an acorn somewhere here in this place and sailors are looking for it. That seems like a reference that I don't get. Hey guys, just looking for someone to talk with. Yeah, if you're here in a thing that'll never be seen by anyone else, saying that certainly does seem like a statement. Thanks very much, Random Routine. I refuse to believe. Butt-ass butt. Now that's what I would expect to see, yeah. I need to go to the frickin' bathroom. Well, what's stopping you? There's no one stopping you. You're just role-playing as people. Recognize me, please. I left an orb. A free t-shirt. What? Need other side. Door, why you so? Door, how open? Open sesame. Makes game includes door, cannot open door, thanks. Oh my god, that's so real! No one would ever stop to think maybe there's a reason the door doesn't open. It's like you just can't stop seeing reality in everything. Oh, this is actually really cool. Help people because of internal good feeling I get. New room. Oh, this is making me want to make this exact same game. Okay, I can't actually keep looking at these messages because I'm never going to get anywhere. If there truly is no reward for looking at all of them, then cool. I bet there is at least like an achievement or something, because this would take a very long time. What is that painting? I'm probably just like missing out on legit content by not reading them though, which I don't like. Does not matter if you ever get over there. That's a fantastic statement, actually. That they would prejudge by looking at the geometry and go, hey, that thing that you see, that spectacle that is nothing like anything else in the rest of this area, there's absolutely no reason to waste your time. It's almost too meta. I have to wonder if the developer of this, like in the actual sense, not in the suspended reality sense that the game is telling you, the person who actually made this, Davey, did he actually hire other people to make these notes? Because it's amazingly introspective if you could come up with something like that. Huh. I don't think I could come up with things that are that real if I was tasked with this position of filling up this space with notes. Very good game. Oh look, one of the notes is half buried in the floor. I think this is not going anywhere. Next time I will do better. You missed one to your left. I know, I'm not trying to get all of them anymore. I'm just sort of getting the ones that are in front of me. I need someone to talk to. This is a note. And again, with the pits full of light, I thought I was going to be able to fall in that, actually. Don't listen to the other notes. Amazing chest ahead. I'm not safe. The notes are basically Twitch chat. Today I learned you cannot fall off. Really? Oh. Look at that little seam there. You can tell how these paths were made up. Ethical. What's great too is that it shows you, by having something that's interactable, the player inherently understands that whether or not you think that there's a path to something, you can see that there is, because there's something you can touch. And most likely, they wouldn't put things that you can touch that aren't accessible by you. I saw a person walking down there, now it won't come back. Oh, did I actually miss that? I wonder if that's really a thing. Also, what's happening on the edge of that wall? There's like streaks of color or something. Devil Tower Star. I want to see why there's little red streaks on the edge of that. It like doesn't make sense. Oh, is it just the seams? It's probably just the seams. I didn't realize that was a shaped like a rounded polygon or something. It's about how this game is pretentious and you all suck. Stop pretending you are other people. We will all die someday. Oh goodness. Help, I'm trying to speak. Hey guys, how's it going? Just hanging. I think it's about how things look messy from up close and perfect from far away. Huh. That's actually remarkably deep as well. I'm just imagining, you know, I've been in several spaces, like actual spaces that are sort of, not exactly like this obviously, because this is like a ridiculous pile of geometry suspended in the air, but art galleries that have similar flows to them. You know, there's corridors, there's open areas, there's big spaces with high ceilings, there's massive pieces of art in some rooms and very small constricted pieces of art in other rooms, and all throughout this, the premise is to fill these spaces with consciousness. Right? You want to let tons and tons of people to walk through and have their experience, whatever that experience may be. And I'm imagining all these people as these notes in an art gallery, all just, if they were to have a cross-section of time, just freeze time, everyone's standing in place, the note that's in their head at the moment becomes their one interactable emoji kind of thing. So I'm just seeing this as like an art gallery frozen in time in some sort of like postmodern, I don't know, futurescape. Cabbage shapes our nation. Spoilers, it doesn't mean anything. Devil Tower Star, I've seen that already. He was himself the most horrible creature he could imagine. Maybe I'll feel real someday. Well, I'm certainly understanding the narrative we're going for here, for sure. Well, I'm here now. Yeah, we're all here now. There must be a reason for it, though. Right, and then the false attribution of always needing to ascribe reason to everything we experience. The same way that we're trained to see faces in everything, we also want to believe that there's some sort of relevance to everything we do, because it gives us meaning and the ability to see forward and find our way through things. If we weren't to see reason, we would stop, or we would cease to be. His terrible secret, he kept it well. I beat the game. More room?
At the end of this level,
wow.
We're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that was on Coda's mind at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one.
I have seen everything. I have traveled the world. I have never told anyone. Huh. I wish there were notes in the real world. Oh my god, I'm already calling this ahead of time. There's whispering voices all around me, and this is totally giving me kind of chills, because it sounds so much like the thing I just described. And there's the 3 dots on the wall, which is it's the closing of this chapter. Become one with spiraling nonsense. Downward, keep digging.
In each of his games, after exploring a theme that, he might find difficult, Coda can then place this puzzle that he knows has a reliable solution, he understands exactly how it works, and so it gives him a simple mechanism for moving on.
You close your eyes and wish for it really bad. That's a good observation also. You mentioned the whisper machine. I wonder how that factors in. I could guess. Almost at the end. If I could fall off, I would have, and I would have gotten myself trapped down there. I expected it to be like a lava flow at the bottom. Does this puzzle have a solution? You know, if I had played this by itself, just this experience of walking through this space and reading these notes, if this was like an indie impressions video, I would have really liked this, just by itself with no context. Oh my god, I've been here for literally an hour. WTF do I do? Help. Help. This doesn't make sense. The second door won't open. How do I solve it? Developer answers, please. This is the same puzzle, though, right? Where the quote-unquote other people, even though I am aware that they are all the same person, the quote-unquote other people that we're role-playing as saw a door with no solution to how to open it, and also wanted the door to open, right? So this is the same situation mapped here. Only there was another alternative, so they went down that road. If there was this door that ended the situation, and another hallway here that led to another opening, or another area, we would just assume that it was unfinished.
And because there's this dark area between the doors, a space between spaces, before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment.
No second switch.
A few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
You know what this reminds me of? I probably not the first person to think this, right? But the little corridors between the game and the exit in Wolfenstein 3D or Doom, they always had these little interim spaces before you got to the final switch. Oh, but this isn't the exit. Or it's just a loading screen, right? Yeah, you can't forget how often doors are used for loading. What is that sound? Typewriter? How do you leave notes? Oh man, that's awesome. Are you there? Please say something. It can be anything. I just need you to say something. Talk to me, please. Why are you having so much difficulty speaking? Speak, speak, speak! That's eerie and awesome at the same time. Coda's a really good developer. Porn stars
okay, this one's
died
tough.
too.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
This is a fantastic game, by the way. I'm absolutely loving the beginner's guide. I've never seen anything like this before, and it's so good. I'm wondering, like, if you can see a progression in the geometry and, like, the ability to put together mechanics. Like, as these games are supposed to be a linear order for this developer, right? I'm wondering if I can see progress in skill. I haven't decided yet. But they definitely all have similar tropes. There's so many of these floor track lighting situations, these little beams coming up. Kind of a 70s motif quite often I've seen in various places. Very tight, claustrophobia-inducing corridors. Okay, we're going in a loop here, it seems. Although we're not, but it looks like we are. Oh, we're at the bottom of the well.
So, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
What furniture ought to go in the center of the room? How about a TV with surround sound, a refrigerator, which is spelled wrong. Giant hole in the ground. Yeah, I want to see the giant hole, please. Oh, and I get a table. Now what about going along the wall of the room? Let's put a huge picture of a horse. 10 stoves lined up along the wall. I'd really like a washing machine. It's a very J. Smith OTI. Well, 10 stoves lined up on the wall would be awesome, but I'm going to go with the picture of a giant horse. And we get couches. Yep. And what about over in the corner? We should light up this room a bit. A skylight full ceiling window. Let's open this baby up. Thinking 10 by 12 recessed electric 6-inch soft LED ceiling lights with fluorescent trim. We'll put live Tesla coils in each corner. Yeah. Well, the number 2 seems more to the style of this developer, but we're gonna get that. What about over here? And a table. You need a table. We've got a table right there, actually. Who are you, and where exactly are you doing this from? I'm pretty sure none of my choices are making any difference. Tables were invented in 1935. Yes. Exactly right. Here we go. Awesome.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
You don't know that. It's a labyrinth made out of furniture.
So, okay,
oh, I wasn't done.
Starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Hello, please walk forward. I walk backward. No. Okay, white matrix space. Ooh, this is very pretty. Wait, I just realized something really silly. What engine is this done in? This game itself, the beginner's guide. Is this a Unity game? Because it's really funny that I didn't make the observation we were talking about Source Engine if this is geometry imported from Source to Unity. And how it, like, that would have been so obvious, and yet it didn't even cross my mind. How's this? The wood texture looks fantastic here, actually. I'm really liking it. And of course, the reflections looks like Unreal. I do think it does look like Unreal, yeah, but I'm not sure. It was definitely made in Source. Oh, okay. I don't want to click on the table. I want to see what else I can do. Alright. Good. Go over to the photo frame and click to turn it slightly. This one? Yep. Now turn the floor lamp in this room off, then turn it back on. Okay. Now go to the left side sofa, move it over a little. Finally touch the shelves! That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start to be taken back to your prison. Okay, return. Alright, let's go back to prison. Cool.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop. That particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. That's so weird, though, that he's, like, judging how many iterations of a concept are valid. Right? Like, you can iterate till your freaking hands bleed if you want. I don't see a problem with that. If you get fixated on something, sometimes you just gotta let yourself burn out on it before you can move on. Alright, this is the first thing I always do, is jump up and down and then see how there's just nothing there. So we go immediately to telephone box with the end. Very eerie. Reminds me a little bit of LSD Dream Emulator, actually, that... Oh. Static? Hello, who is this? Hey, it's me. I'm you from after you escaped the prison. You're me? So you're trapped in this prison too? Oh my god, I can't get away from this theme!
And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows.
The only person who knows is me.
The irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
First Soma, then Corpse of Discovery, and now this. Everything is me talking to myself. It's really weird. It just keeps coming up. It's like all of these people had the illusionist/prestige situation all at the same time, just all exploded into the scene in the space of like 2 weeks. Well, of course, the Discovery was actually a little bit earlier, but I didn't pick it because of that theme. It just so happened to have it. Weird. I was in the furniture maze. Yup, I was in the escape tutorial. I was in the reverse prison. I'm already forgetting what being in prison was like. It's strange, but in a way I kind of miss being in the prison. It feels like being completely still and wildly in motion at the same time. Sometimes I'm scared I'll get out and then things will be exactly the same as before. Oh good, that's nice to hear. That makes me feel really happy. It just kind of does that, you know? I'm still me, but I'm not somehow. It's hard to describe. Remember to enjoy being who you are right now. It won't last. Wait, if you're me, then did you get a call from another version of you when you were trapped? No, I think I'm the first person to call back. Yes, I did get a call. That's how I escaped. Sure. Infinite regress. Embrace it. What did they tell you? What did you have to do to get out? All they told me was to be sincere. They asked me how I felt about being imprisoned. They just talked to me for a while. Can't know until you're out, but I promise it works. Just tell me how you feel. It will make sense. I feel afraid that nothing will ever change.